Hello class. Today we'll be learning how to use animation in our sprite projects. So animation helps us keep our game engaging and helps keep our audience interested with what we're doing. We'll be learning a few different techniques, such as moving our sprite with our arrow keys and our spacebar, as well as making smooth movement through gliding on our sprites. So let's begin. So I began with picking a background. So as you can see, I chose the city with the road and picking a sprite. So I have a car here, and we're going to animate this car moving back and forth onto the road. So let's begin. So we're going to start with the beginning. So events, when the green flag is clicked. So I'm going to click over here, and now first thing we want to do is drag our sprite into position. So here we have a sprite. We're going to drag it just over here, just where we want it to start. Now from here, we're going to place a motion block on it, saying go to X -168 and Y -72. Now these two numbers are really important. So if you have a look here, you can see that we have this letter X as well as two arrows pointing sideways, as well as the letter Y with the two arrows pointing upwards and downwards. Now if we move the sprite around, we can see that the X's number is moving further and further up. And if we move our sprite up and down, we can see that the Y number is moving up and down. Now this is important to know, as this just indicates the direction our sprite is facing and where it will be moving. Now, this is our beginning position, and when we click the flag, it'll just bring our sprite back into place. Now, to begin with movements, we need to click the sprite so we can program it, and now we're going to go into control. Now, when we move up to events, we can see that we have this when space key is pressed. So we have that, and then we can program the car to move by going into motion, and we have move 10 steps. Now watch what happens when I press the spacebar. You can see that the car is moving. If you have a look down at the X, we can see that the numbers are moving upwards, and we can see that the car is moving forwards. Now, we can program this by using the arrow keys. So instead of pressing space, we can have the right arrow key. When we press the right arrow key, you can see that the car is moving forward. Now, what if we want the car to move backwards? We can go back to events, and then we can go back to when the space key is pressed, but this time we can change this into the left arrow key. So when we have the left arrow key, we can program the car to move backwards now. So then for the same thing, it's the exact same thing, except for now, instead of moving forward 10 steps, we can move backwards 10 steps. So if you remember what we spoke about with the X numbers, if we press the left arrow key, we can see that the car is moving backwards. You can see we can move the car all the way down, and then we can move the car all the way up. Now this is just a really basic way of controlling your sprites, and even for things like platforming games, this is how we're able to control our characters. Now what if we wanted to create like an animation? So we can go back to the beginning, and we can get rid of these two blocks, and we can see how to glide. So as you can see here, we have this glide block. Now for this, we can program our sprites by doing this. So when we have this, we have when this sprite is clicked, and then we can add a wait time, a timer. So the sprite has to wait 1 second. Then from here, as you can see, we still have this block here. So every time we press the green flag, our sprite's always going to go back into that position. But when we want it to glide, we just need to move our sprite to wherever we want it. So let's place our sprite on the other side of the road. Now see how our coordinates have changed. So then if we hit this glide 1 second to the new coordinates, we can add this to our block. Okay, and then we can go back to the start, and when we click our sprite, we can see that it starts moving. So those are just a few basic ways to animate and move our sprites. I hope you guys took something out of this, and hope it's helpful for your new projects. Thank you. Bye-bye.